Hi, I'm Seb, and I just want to talk about life and how shitty it can be and how depressing it can be. Life is both a gift and a curse. Because no one is given a choice. You're not given a choice into whether you're born, and, you know, off the bat, that sounds a little depressing because if you have a scummy life, it wasn't really your choice because you were kind of forced into this sort of world, which is almost entirely dependent on luck, on where you're born and how your life is. Because so there's so many different ways of life in so many different places just for humans, and you know, think about it. You could be a white guy from the suburbs, living in a regular old middle class house with his PC set up, watching this video, or you could be, in Africa, like living in a village, scraping by, getting as much water as you can, hoping that a miracle happens, or you could be you could be a Canadian living living with a nice family, but your mother's sick, and now you have to hope that you can get enough money to help her. Well, I guess that would be more American than Canadian, but my point is that there's a lot of different lives that can, be scummy for a lot of different people. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's life is worth it. And you should never try killing yourself just be, you should try making the most of your life, making the most of what you have and trying to use that. Because even if there's people always making you feel down, even if you're in like a shitty life with no real future, you can one day be the person everyone needs. You could change the world if you try. So why not take the chance and continue to live life? Even if life can be so dark and so hurtful, people can live in toxic families, people can live in poverty. Slaves are still around to this day, which is such a depressing thing, such a depressing thought, that while maybe for you, you're living in you're living in a nice house with an upper middle class family. You're watching this with your gaming setup. Someone else out there is doing unspeakable acts that they don't have a choice in because they're treated as property. Another human being treated as property. Just think about that. Life is so much up to chance, and I guess even if a person can change their life and make the most of it, become a millionaire, help so many people, beginnings can always be so tragic. So bear in mind that when you think of how other people act, and maybe think about what they're going through in their life, because you know there's just so many different things that could be happening with them. And I just want to say that I believe that there are no bad people, just people who do bad actions. And I stand by that thought, no matter the person. So, if people do bad acts, maybe check how their life was. Maybe that's why they do bad acts. It's not always the case, but I feel like it's a lot of the time that that's the case. So, yeah, just remember, people can have tragic lives, and if you don't have a tragic life, then you're lucky. I would say you're pretty damn lucky. So, anyways, if you own a slave, then fuck you.